Welcome to another exciting edition of the P&B Sports Show. I'm your host, Abel Sunday. Senegal have been crowned champions of the African Cup of Nations 2025, defeating host nation Morocco in a thrilling final to lift the continental crown for the second time, while also reflect on Nigerian Super Eagles, who secured the bronze medal for a record 9th time, rounding off another strong tournament outing. Then we switch focus to the English Premier League, where Manchester was painted red over the weekend as Manchester United stunned rival Manchester City with a 2-0 victory, a result that propelled United into 5th place on the league table. To break down all the major talking points, I'm being joined virtually by our in-house analyst Tom Aroko, and from the Center of Excellence, Lagos, Walter Odige. Grab your teacup because P&B Sports start now. Welcome back. It's the P&B Sports Show, reaching you live from the nation's capital. And of course, I'm with Walter Odige. Walter, good morning. And I want to believe that your weekend was splendid, isn't it?
Yes, good morning. I had a very good weekend. And as you know, you should know the reason why my weekend.
What a time to be a Manchester United fan and also to be in Nigeria.
Yes, a good time, because United, it's been long. I remember every shows were always complaining, asking when can United, get that good performance again? Can United ever return to that club that they once be? And our answer is usually not anytime soon, not anytime soon. So it's good when you see positive. It's good when you see a performance like that on Saturday. Not only about the performance, you have to consider the opposition that we played. You have to consider the manner at which we played. So it was not just a win, it was how we won it. It was special and it was very good. And still that same Saturday evening, I watched Nigeria Super Eagles claim the bronze medal at the African Cup of Nations. Most importantly, they finally won the penalty shootout on that.
Yeah, it has now become. It now look as if is a syndrome that every PK will have to lose every PK. But before we go into that conversation, let's start with the hottest gist, which is the finals against between Senegal and Morocco, host nation Morocco yesterday. How do you see it, or from your own observation, what can you tell us about yesterday's game?
Yesterday's game is, it was a good final. Let's not take away anything from the final. I think the final lived up to expectation. In African football, you don't want to be overly open, so both teams were cautious, and they had a very good game plan, and it was properly executed. So it was very, very good final on the field of play. But the scenes we saw at the last minute of the game, it's not good advert for African football. It's not good advertisement for African football. It's as a result. I would call it it's as a result of the plenty shenanigans, the plenty errors that the Confederation of African Football (CAF) has allowed to play out at this tournament. Yes, because the officiating. You have to, in officiating, they've been a little bit lenient towards the Moroccans from the very first game of the tournament. Morocco first opportunity at this tournament was on the penalty spot, even if they failed to convert. So they wanted to end it. They decided with for Morocco, and they wanted to still end to the penalty for Morocco. That's not good enough. Now, was it a penalty? Yes, the referee could give that as a penalty. No. The referee could have still used his discretion and say, you know what, I'm not giving this as a penalty. But for me, considering the what just happened, it was the penalty was as a result of Senegal scored a perfectly good goal in the other side of the pitch, just less than 5 minutes earlier. Senegal had scored a goal that everybody watching that game thought it was a goal. But because of this referee and their over seriousness to want to help Morocco, they cancelled the goal, and the referee blew as soon as he saw little infringement in the penalty box, which was not enough to be given as a foul. So eventually the Senegalese goals were cancelled. And moments later, the referee case was called. It was something, I don't know. First of all, I don't know why VAR had to get involved. I would blame the VAR for the chaos we saw last night, because for me, VAR shouldn't get involved in that incident. Just let it play. Is it a penalty? Like I said, it's a referee discretion. The referee can go today and say, no, it's not a penalty. The referee could be in the, tomorrow and say, yes, it's a penalty. So it's a referee discretion thing. So the VAR calling the referee to go and check it, to me, that was nonsense, because you should know for a fact it's going to be controversial. It is the last minute of this game. Why don't just let it go? Why don't just let it pan out? And the referee went to the VAR stand, looked for it and saw it, and the referee could have, listen, there's when you can officiate, you apply common sense, or let me say, you apply logic, or you apply reasoning. You should know how the fans would react. You should know how the people will react. You should know how the players will react. Because you just cancelled a perfectly good goal for Senegal on the other end. So it's enough for you to. It's not like it's a clear and obvious penalty. It isn't. It isn't a clear and obvious penalty. Like I said, it's a 50-50. Some red won't give, some red won't give. So it's not like it's clear and obvious. So in pointing to the spot in that moment of the game, the referee, for me, is the man to be blamed for what we saw yesterday. And obviously, it was disappointing for Senegal. They decided not to play anymore, which I don't agree with, but I understand where that's coming from, because they felt cheated. They felt that they were wrong, and they were not interested in playing anymore. That said, it took a while, I think 15 minutes, because Senegal first they disagreed. Secondly, they went to the dressing room before Sadio Mane had to go into the dressing room and call his teammates and say, you know what, let's just finish this, let's just play this. And as somebody said, God never sleeps nor slumber. Brian Diaz, only God in heaven knows what he was thinking. That was his fourth penalty at this Afcon. His fourth penalty, and he did not do Kaneka for any of the other three penalties. He scored them beautifully well. So what came to his head, what he was thinking, I don't know. Why he chose to go for the Panelka, I don't know what made him to do that. That was such a poor penalty, especially when you consider what was at stake. A lot of things were at stake. Your nation's first Afcon title in over 15 years. That is massive. In front of your own crowd, you just hosted this tournament for one purpose, because you want to try and win it. So I think Brian Diaz choosing to play that sport that way, I don't think Moroccans will forgive him for a very, very long time. They won't accept probably he will propel them to a good outing at the FIFA World Cup in June, July, because that was such an horrible penalty. And after he missed that penalty, from that moment up front, it advantage Senegal, because Senegal now will have the energy, Senegal now will have the fight, Senegal now will have the bite. Senegal could have scored 3 goals, 4 goals, 3 goals or 4 goals in that what's it called, in the
extra time.
Yes, they just scored one. They had a clear goal, and the Moroccan goalkeeper was superb in the extra time. So I think Brian Diaz cost this nation an African Cup of Nations title. So it's sad what we saw from the officiating. It's like I said, it's as a result of what we've seen at this tournament. It's been really poor officiating against Nigeria. They read the devil around Nigeria to play football. Like any little thing, we saw it with our own eyes. So we were not surprised what we saw yesterday. Everybody was talking against it. So it's what it is. Congratulations to Senegal, African champion. Well deserved. African champion.
Well, nobody thought that Senegal would actually win from the beginning. I don't think anybody gave Senegal a chance that they're going to win this year, this edition of Afcon. But fortunately for them, they are the champion for the second time, and Sadio Mane have won it twice. I think so. I think it's a good thing for that man. And I want you to describe in 1 minute. I want to talk about Sadio Mane. How he's not the captain, but he's a leader. You saw how even the coach asked the players to leave the pitch. They should go down to the dressing room. But again, Mane was standing. And I think one of the officials came to speak to Mane, and Mane was like, "Okay." Tried to bring them back. Spoke to the coach. They tried to, okay, let's play. Don't worry, come back. Let's play. And he ran back into the dressing room. And I don't know what he told them, but he was able to bring them back. That character, that attitude alone that he showed. How will you describe it, please, in 1 minute, so that I can move to the next topic on our table?
Yes, just before the final, I think that was he had an interview before yesterday, and he was asked, "How do you want to be remembered?" He said he wants to be remembered as a great human. He doesn't care about the football aspect, people will judge, but he wants to be remembered no matter what happens. He wants to be remembered as a great human. And this is something, I'm sure everybody at Liverpool can testify to. Sadio Mane is a great person, he's a great human. But what we saw from him yesterday is beyond, it's beyond, it's beyond being a great human. It's a selfless thing to do. Because I would like to know, in that moment, every Senegalese fan, every Senegalese player, every Senegalese coach, everybody involved in the Senegal national team, they were furious. They were angry, and they were not interested in coming back to play that game.
Just imagine they walked away like that. Yes. They don't even know that the coin will turn to their favor. Imagine they walked away like that. That would have been the end of it. And luckily for them, they were able to come back. And of course, they clinched the ultimate prize that everybody wanted to get. Congratulations to Senegal again for being the latest champion of the Afcon. Let's move to Nigeria quickly before we now talk about your Manchester. I know it's you people's Manchester. But let's talk about Nigeria quickly. Now, on Saturday, we saw our Eagles on that pitch. I think, to my own opinion, I think they gave everything on that pitch. That even the Samuel Chukwueze that was heavily criticized over the missed penalty against Morocco. He gave a very good account of himself on Saturday, sorry. But quickly, Victor Osimhen was not playing. Let's assume it will qualify for the finals. Are you telling me now that Victor Osimhen will not play that final? Or will you agree with me that injury will keep him from the final when he...
I can tell you 100%. I can confirm to you 100%. But if Nigeria were to have pushed to final of the African competition, Victor Osimhen will start that game and they will finish that game. Yeah, but Osimhen is going to play for Galatasaray on Tuesday, the UEFA Champions League. So I think the thing was, the third place match, let's not play many of our stars. Wilfred didn't play. Onyeka didn't play.
Wilfred did this, understandably had injury right before time. But we needed all our players to win the third place. You get? Just assume we lose that third place.
Yes, it was a risk. The coach took risk because I would like to do, and the coach took a huge risk. I'm not going to come here and lie to you that the coach didn't take a risk. He took a risk because if he had not won that third place medal, trust me, Nigerians would have not had. There's this sweet feeling we have right now. There's this good feeling we have right now that okay, at least I thought my impact pass.
Yes, so
finished 10, we finished with the podium finish. You understand? So if Nigeria had failed to finish in the 10th place, I think it would have left a sour taste in the mouths of Nigeria. So to be honest with you, I think 12 took the risk. But I think the risk was as a result of, because Egypt went with their full team.
Yeah.
Egypt, their first 11. So I think the risk he took was as a result of, he looked at that Egypt side and he said that this team are not good enough. This team, even if we don't play our big guns, this team shouldn't stop us. We should able to, beat this team or at least hold them to penalty shootout. You understand? So for me, it was something I would have done. I would have introduced the likes of the Sine, Onyeka, Iwobi, Lokman. I would have introduced everybody for the second half. But because I really am the same this team that Egypt is the weakest team to reach the semi-final. They are really not that good. So I think it was a risk that paid off in the end. Congratulations to Nigeria. They did very, very well. They did impressively well. They did concede a goal in the knockout stages of the tournament. They scored the most goals in the tournament, 14 goals. They had an impressive tournament. We had about three good goal scorers. Ademola Lukman scoring 3 goals. Brian Diaz scoring 5 goals. I said Brian Diaz. It was even scoring 4 goals. Aqua Adams scored 3 goals. So it was a very
Okay, good. That's good one. That's good one. And would have Tom now. Tom has just joined us now. I think he was dining, and Ashwaju is back. So, and he's a Ashwaju's boy. So he was dining and whining with Ashwaju. He forgot about us. No problem. Everybody get your own turn. This life now two-faced. Everybody get in part. Now your casa they play no wahala. You know what carry us along. But Tom, quickly, let me come back to you, Tom. Tom, Nigeria finishing. Good morning first, and I know your weekend was fantastic. I will go to Manchester, but before we get to Manchester being red. Quickly I want to talk about Eric Chell, and if the Nigeria Football Federation, if they should keep him. Has he done well to be given maybe extension of a contract? Then secondly, I want you to talk about quickly so that we can go to Manchester United topic. Quickly, talk about also Nigeria has won this tournament 9 times. 9 times. That is bronze. They won bronze medal 9 times, the highest so far in the tournament. Quickly, Tom, let me get your take on that.
Honestly, I want us to talk about Manchester United.
Yes, so quickly round up this so that we can go to Manchester United.
I think United should keep Eric Chell. I think Eric Chell is not just the coach that thinks about now. It's the coach that thinks about building the team. From the way he has gone about his business, from the way he has gone about getting his players in, it's obvious that this is the man that thinks about building his team. And as well, when you look at the type of coaching staff he brought in, you can see that this man took sacrifices. He brought his own coaching staff instead of the normal coaching staff for this team. He brought his own coaching staff and decided to use them. So you could even see the tactical difference from the World Cup qualifiers for now. So I think that we should keep Chelsea. We don't have any reason to lose him in the
Okay, perfect. I know you want to talk about Manchester United, and you didn't talk about the 9th time we bronze. In fact, nobody can rank us winning a bronze medal in Afcon. 9 solid time.
Yeah, to me, honestly, but when I saw the way Senegal played and the heart that they played with, honestly, I do not think a bronze medal is something that we should celebrate. But we've gone there. But we've gone there.
But Tom, I thought I'm back partner.
From 9 times, then it's okay.
Are we not better than Ghana? At least we got some. Yeah.
And you can see that the Ghanaian rep was well welcome.
Yes. I would have played that video, but we don't have time. But Tom, let me stick with you before I'll go to water, because I know you want to talk. You are itching. You want to talk about the Manchester derby. Manchester was red on Wednesday. I'm sorry, on Saturday. Is it because we'll have Ahmad is back, Obama is back? Is it because you have your full squad? You could see Fletcher could Carrick could flex his muscle, and they dispatch Manchester City they took them to the cleaners. 5 unreplied goals. They cancelled 3, but still that game finished 2-0. What a performance from Fletcher's team. But Carrick's team. Tom, let me get your take on it.
I said I'm going to start with the fact that before that match, I told you, Abel, that Manchester United was going to win that match.
Did you have to bring it on air? You said it back then.
Manchester United cannot.
Yes, I said so. Yeah, true.
But when you look at the way Michael Carrick plays, you can obviously see that this is not just about the return of Bemu, Hamed, and the likes, but it's about being able to strategize and re-strategize, just being able, and it's obvious that Michael Carrick is not a one philosophy coach. It's a coach that adjusts to whatever his opponent gives him. It can be offensive and also reactive at the same time. Because when you see what he did, you could see that we saw a different side from the Manchester United side. The Manchester United side that obviously played 4-2-3-1. They played extremely well, and I think that that's the difference between Michael Carrick and Ruben Amorim. At first I was like, I should keep Amorim longer, but when I saw what Michael Carrick did, I said no. And they played like this is the derby. They played like they wanted to win the match. You can see that United is so City's pressure throughout. See Harry Maguire, Martinez. You could see Heaven. I think Heaven was fantastic. He played fantastically well on the right side of the defense. You could see Harry Maguire. Even when he was tired, he played extremely well. You could see that they neutralized the threats that Manchester City was giving. I don't think that Manchester City have had this type of failure in a very, very long time. That match could have easily ended 3-0, even though because left to me, I do not think that the last goal was offside. But yes, that match could have easily ended 3-0. And this shows you the depth in which the Manchester United team has right now. And obviously, like our players coming in from, like players like Mohamed coming in from the Afcon. Obviously, you are fresh from an international tournament. By the time you come back, we expect you to come back and give us the best. And that was what happened. When you see the likes of Dogu, you see that Dogu, he played extremely well. You could see the determination with him. And that was what gave him the results that he did. You see the same thing with Mbemu. Mbemu's goal was amazing. But I think there's something I have to state. I feel Casemiro played extremely well. We see that during the match, I said something. I said Casemiro has it, but he had his opportunities and he couldn't just connect to the back of the net. But I feel it's quite amazing with what they have done so far. You know, when you look at everything, that they've done, but when you look at Amorim, you can see that Amorim's style is not what we can Manchester United. You need a reactive coach to whatever we do.
Tom, you are a very happy man. I could sense that from your voice. Very, very happy man. I'm so happy for you. Nigeria got bronze. Manchester United won on Saturday. One day you have to give.
Nigerian bronze. The only thing I'm celebrating is football.
Okay, Walter, let me come to you as we wrap up this show. Walter, you could see the Mbemo's goal that Tom rightly said. That was a devastating counter attack. I've never seen that in recent time. Look at from the midfield straight down to the heart of the defense of Manchester City, and look at that pass from their captain Bruno Fernandes down to Ubamo, and Ubamo slides it in. Fantastic finish. Secondly, do you think Ruben Amorim sticking to his philosophy was a suicidal mission? Do you think it was suicidal? I think that's the right word to use. Sticking with his own philosophy, do you think it was because he has everything in his disposal? But what changes? All right, what was lacking? It was his ability to change formations and also trying to do other things. But let me get your own take. Do you think that sticking to his own philosophy was suicidal?
Ruben Amorim, he was, he got so many things wrong as Manchester United manager. To be honest with you, so many things. I can sit here and list about 5 things he got wrong. But the top 2 for me are: one, his tactics, his formation. He was hell bent on playing 3 at the back. And why I don't have issues with it, certainly at the beginning, I felt okay, let him do his thing. But I think there were times last season and this season he could have adjusted. There were times he could have adjusted. Like this season, he could have adjusted this formation. There were so many times right back. It was so obvious that this team, this set of players will thrive in a 4-3-3. That would be a better solution for them. And he failed. So he was hell bent on proving to United board. He was hell bent on proving to the players. He was hell bent on proving to the media. He was hell-bent to prove to everybody that his three at the back is the best and it's going to work out. And I think that is where one of the what is all wrong for me. Ruben Amorim, he could have adjusted, he could have switched, he could have proven to be. We've seen coaches done that. Antonio Conte in his first season at Chelsea, Conte was playing 4-4 something, 4-4-3, 4-3-3. Sorry, it wasn't working out for him. Conte went three at the back, and guess what? Chelsea won the league that season. As a manager, you have to be flexible. You cannot just come here and say this is what I will do. If it doesn't work, it will work. No, that's not how it works. Sometimes people get tired. So that was Amorim's first failure. In the second failure, Amorim came to Manchester United, and there's this management that I think it's very, very important. If you coach a club like Manchester United, Real Madrid, you have to have management skill because you are coming to coach players who have ego. You're coming to coach players who believe they are big players. So you have to have a way to talk to them. You have to have a way to encourage them. Amorim came with a fighter's mentality. That's why he was fighting with Rashford, fought with Garnacho. That's a fighter's mentality. Look at what Michael Carrick is giving everybody a hug. It's a Ferguson mode of management. You give everybody a hug, give everybody a praise. Talk to these players privately. If they do wrong, tell them. Encourage these players, be a father to them, rather than be someone that is trying to fight them. And so Amorim got that totally wrong, and it's backfired in the end. So for me, I think the change we saw against Manchester City on Saturday, Carrick has not done anything extraordinary. He did the basic. Everybody that knows football has said play 4-3-3. Play Kobe Mainoo. Play Bruno Fernandes in his preferred position, which is behind the striker. Play wingers. And that is what Carrick did. It is basic. If you had made me the manager for that match against Manchester City, I would do the same thing. It's just the basic. Don't be original. Don't come and form philosopher in our head. Just do the basic.
Yeah.
That is the Manchester United I know. Look at the first foot. Proper Manchester United football. Counter attack.
Yeah.
It's a pity free kick. Before you know, United, I think Maguire ended the ball. Then Bruno took it. Lovely pass for Bueno. Oh, that's a good Manchester United goal. That is the Manchester United I know. And it's good to see that they can play football like that again. I also hope for Saturday was the beginning of a good era for Manchester United.
Yeah, thank you so much, Walter. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, and I will not have time to even ask Tom. Of course, Tom has spoken, but I will not have time to. But probably tomorrow we'll come back to it. That's where we draw the curtain on this edition of P&B Sports Show. Many thanks to our in-house analyst, Tom Aroko, and from the Center of Excellence, Lagos, Walter Odige, for their valuable insights and analysis. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Walter Odige.
Yeah, thank you. The pleasure is mine.
All right, you can connect with us on all social media platforms on YouTube and Facebook at Politics and Business TV.English, on IG at PNBTV_English, on X at PNBTV_ENG. That's the size of our show this morning.